Okay, so what if you could take your absolute worst, most destructive arguments and actually turn them into moments of, well, real connection? We've all been there, right? A conversation takes a wrong turn, and before you know it, you're building these massive walls instead of bridges. Well, today, we're going to break down a really powerful way to flip that script. And it all starts with a little bit of ancient wisdom.
This line from Sun Tzu's The Art of War is our entire game plan. Now, a golden bridge isn't about just letting someone off the hook or saying you're right when you're not. It's a strategy. It's about making it easy for both of you to get back to what's true without cornering anyone or making them feel attacked. It's how you both find solid ground again.
But let's be real. When we're in a conflict, our first instinct is hardly ever to build a bridge, is it? Nope. We build a wall. We get defensive, we dig our heels in, and what started as a tiny disagreement blows up into this huge, draining battle. So why? Why do we do that?
Well, this whole habit starts with something the source material calls the corruption of the word. It's a fancy way of saying this is how we take something that should be simple, communication, and just turn it into messy, high-energy chaos in our lives.
And here it is. This is the moment where it all goes wrong. The problem starts the second we decide that protecting our image, our ego, is more important than holding on to the simple truth of a situation, what our source calls the logos. And that one choice, that's the seed for every single one of those exhausting, go-nowhere arguments where you just talk in circles.
To really get a handle on this, the source gives us this brilliant little acronym. I want you to picture our worst defensive habits as a kind of four-headed dragon, and this dragon's name is Jade. It's the perfect way to remember how we accidentally sabotage our own conversations.
So JADE stands for justify, argue, defend, and explain. This is what the source calls the leakage of the ego. It's all the static and noise that pollutes our conversations and stops the actual message, the truth, from getting through. Let's break down each of these dragon heads one by one.
First up, we've got J for justify. You know this one. It's when we immediately start making excuses. Well, the only reason I did that was because you were trying so hard to prove we were right. But here's the thing. The simple truth doesn't need a whole PR campaign. It just is. Then there's A for argue. This is when the goal totally shifts. It's not about solving a problem anymore. It's just about winning the fight. It's the scorekeeping, the he said, she said, the petty little jabs. Arguing isn't a conversation. It's just noise that's designed to protect a bruised ego. Next, D is for defend. This one kicks in when an argument starts to feel personal. We stop defending the facts and we start defending ourselves, our character, our reputation, our job title, what the source calls our uniform. We're defending the image we've built, not the truth of the moment.
And finally, E is for explain. Now, a little explanation is fine, but this is over-explaining. It's when we start talking in circles, just burying the other person in a mountain of words. It really comes from insecurity, and it sends a subtle message, I don't think the truth is strong enough to stand on its own, so here are 1,000 reasons why you should believe me. Okay, so we've met the Jade Dragon. We know the enemy. But how do we actually slay it? How do we stop building those walls and start building that golden bridge? Let's check out the blueprint for a totally different, much more restorative way to respond.
This little diagram shows the goal perfectly. The point isn't a vertical win, where one person is standing victorious over the other. No, the goal is horizontal resolution. It's about getting back on the same level, side by side. It's all about mutual respect and healing the connections so you can both move forward.
And the foundation for this bridge? It's radical simplicity. This whole idea is grounded in this powerful wisdom from Matthew 5:37. Just let your communication be clean. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. Anything more than that, all that justifying, arguing, defending, and explaining, that's just the ego getting in the way of the truth.
Now, this all sounds great in theory, doesn't it? But how do you actually do it when you're in the heat of the moment and you can feel your blood start to boil? Well, the source gives us a super practical, science-backed tool. It's called the 6-second interrupt, and trust me, it's like a superpower for shutting down that jaded reflex.
That's it. Just 6 seconds. It can feel like an absolute eternity when you're angry, I know. But that tiny little gap of time, that's where all the magic happens. This simple pause is literally the key that unlocks this entire system.
So what is actually going on in your brain during those 6 seconds? Well, it's pretty cool. When we feel attacked, our amygdala, our primitive fight-or-flight lizard brain, it just fires up. It's pure instant reaction. That 6-second pause is just enough time for your brain to hit the brakes on that reactive part and bring the thoughtful, reasonable prefrontal cortex online. You are literally shifting from raw reaction to a considered response.
So we've covered the what, the why, and the how. Now it's time to get out of the classroom and into the real world. The source gives us a really clear, simple mission to make all of this real for you starting right now.
Here it is, the Defensive Speech Tracker. It could not be simpler, but man is it powerful. For the next 24 hours, just carry a little notebook or use a note on your phone. And every single time you feel that little urge to justify, argue, defend, or explain, just make a little check mark. Don't judge yourself. Just notice it. You're being a scientist. Then, at the end of the day, look back. It's a powerful audit of exactly when and why you chose to protect your ego instead of just sticking with the simple truth.
And that pretty much brings us to the end. So the final question isn't really for me to answer. It's for you. Sometime today, maybe at work, maybe at home, you're going to have a choice. You can build another wall, or you can take that 6-second breath and start laying down the first piece of a golden bridge. So, what bridge will you build today?